everyone. Welcome to the first Friday in 2023. I am so excited you guys are joining me. I have a few really special guests. I'm going to bring some ladies on with me right now. I hope you guys will join me. Welcome Emily and Jessie to Friday Live with Lauren. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hello.
Awesome. All right. So I don't really do big intros, but I want you both to introduce yourself and please tell us a little bit about where you work, what you do. We know we're going to talk about marketing today, y'all. But Emily, why don't you go first?
Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm Emily. I work at Nectar, which is a rewards and recognition software platform. I'm on the marketing team and I'm calling in from Minnesota.
Wow. Emily keeps it short and sweet, hard to compete with. I'm Jessie, Lizak, CMO at BDEX, and we help people with consumer data. So, everybody needs to work on their first party customer data. And as you're doing so, that's something that we can help you with and expanding your target audience. Other than that, in the evening, I work on Whiskey Wednesday. It's a show where we bring together sales and marketing professionals, but really everyone from across all industries have tuned in. And we just have a fun adult nightcap where we talk about sales and marketing alignment.
Whiskey Wednesday is I think my favorite thing on LinkedIn, like just being honest with you. Definitely where I feel like I've found the most community out of all of the communities I think I've joined. Just really, really great job with everything that's being built there. So, super impressive. And I want to talk about that. Whiskey Wednesday is going to have a great 2023. Talk about 2022 and how it started.
Sure. Yeah. 2022 started, just really casual, getting on LinkedIn Live and exploring, the technology of like, how do I do this? What does it do? And my partner, Eddie, and I just would get together in the evening and talk about sales marketing alignment. We were part of another community where we met, and so we would bring a lot of those people, and it really just became a place where we would invite people that we both met on LinkedIn and in our different communities, mine marketing, his more sales, and then bringing them together for a nightcap and talking about the hard topics on sales marketing alignment. Because there's always just this friction. It seems like the best teams can always work past it, but we always touch on different things to sort of help people in their day-to-day, especially as sales motions start to look more like marketing and a lot of marketing motions start to look more like sales. We have to remember we're all one team. So it's always fun to, have those conversations live every week. But we've grown and, our audience went from 5 to, on up to like, I don't know, a couple hundred. There was even one day on YouTube, we had like 4,000 people on one, like you strike a chord on YouTube. Because we go live not only on LinkedIn now, but we started going live on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch. We use StreamYard. We're marketing affiliates of StreamYard. So just a small plug there. We don't make much money if you do sign up, but I just love StreamYard and I love using it. And so I've tried to just continue in 2022 to explore all the different capabilities of what was possible with it. And that's how, you get all the comments on Whiskey Wednesday if you've ever attended. That's, me just playing with like, what are these comments things showing up here? And then the different overlays, and Eddie would get creative once we started to play with it more. And, it just became a fun place. And our goal is always to make it fun, but also, an educational experience for our audience. And we want to entice them to continue to come. So we do giveaways. And it's a great way for people who have courses or, different software applications to get it in front of an audience in a giveaway style. So if anybody listening would like to give away their course or their coaching or anything, let me know. Would love to give it away sometime, even in January. We've got a couple really great episodes coming up. So you won't be seeing very much of a break from Whiskey Wednesday. We went every Wednesday in 2022 once we started, but this year we're doing every Wednesday in January and then 2 Wednesdays in February. And basically it'll be 2 Wednesdays every month after. You'll see Eddie come back. That's the plan in March. He'll be making an appearance again and joining me on the show. So, we'll be building up to March in the meantime, but we're still having a lot of fun just having, conversations with fewer guests right now in 2022. So if you saw our last week's episode, there were only 2 guests. Trying to keep it at that. It gets hard because everybody, wants to tell us about another awesome person, which please, don't stop. Send us messages of anyone you want to see as a guest on Whiskey Wednesday. But we get so many that it's hard to say no to everybody. But we're going to try to put up our boundaries and keep it at 2 guests per week this year. But yeah, that's what we did in 2022. And that's what we hope to do in 2023.
And it's definitely building a community. You guys have a Slack community as well, right?
We do. I have just come to learn that the link hasn't been working. So if anyone listening has filled out the form and it wasn't taking you into the Slack community, just send me a LinkedIn DM. I will get you in there. But yeah, we do have one. We welcome people to share their LinkedIn posts. So right now, that's the main part of it, is people sharing their content and us engaging with other Whiskey Wednesday attendees, because the attendees, the comments are so engaging during the show that people build relationships just watching Whiskey Wednesday. So then you see that kind of transpire on LinkedIn with them supporting each other's content and building relationships. And it's even resulted in, other people doing business. So it's been a great community and everybody's welcome to join.
I've definitely been introduced to a client or two through Whiskey Wednesday. So she's
great.
not lying, y'all. And the prizes are real and legitimate. I've won way too many times. I refuse to enter anymore.
Oh, what have you won, Lauren?
Oh my, Jessie, I can't even name everything. I won, hold on, let's plug this really quick. I brought this out to do this. I won these amazing Grove Cookie Company cookies, which I will tell you, they're better than the crumble cookies that everybody's obsessed with right now. They're very good. So I won those, and then I bought them for my family for Christmas.
Ooh,
that was fun.
Nice.
And I will be using them for my clients in the future. They're that good, y'all. I mean it. They taste like somebody just baked a cookie in your house.
Totally.
Right? You've had them, Jessie.
Yeah, Grove Cookie Company. I mean, thank you to them, because they really shared a lot with our audience. So that makes me really happy to hear that you enjoyed them and that you gave them these gifts.
I have Lavender Pro for free for a year, but now that I'm a founder, Will told me I get Lavender for that too. So whoop, whoop, shout out, Lavender's awesome, y'all. I don't know, Emily, if you use Lavender. But they got a dream team going. I know that we're not really talking about our topics yet, but if you guys haven't been paying attention to Lavender this year, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Man, I'm so excited to see that Jen Allen and Todd Klauser have gone to work for Lavender. That's going to be so exciting.
Bold prediction, one day LinkedIn will do a lavender purple LinkedIn day kind of collaboration, and it'll turn purple for the day. We'll see. I'm calling it. Give it a year.
Lavender and ClickUp.
Literally, it's going to be insane. But you two ladies are my marketing experts. I want to talk to you. Emily, you've grown such a great brand. It's been so impressive to watch and follow. It's just so cool to have I was telling my husband, I'm we're having a Female Friday show. But I want everybody, go follow Emily on LinkedIn, check out her company. But I want to talk about both of you and marketing yourself as a top candidate or social seller. What can people do right now? And let's talk to both. So let's start with candidates. So what can you do to market yourself on LinkedIn, in interviews, just in general, to be a great candidate?
I like to say to grab your 5 top stories. If you want to be a top candidate, it doesn't start with you've memorized your resume. They already have your resume in front of you. They're already getting you on paper. They want everything behind that. They want the story of how you 5x revenue. They want the story of how the collaboration worked on that team or how you overcame that obstacle. So come equipped with those 5 stories that you can point to with any interview question. And that's probably the best interview preparation to be a top candidate that I'd say you could do.
Okay. And then in terms of marketing yourself as a candidate on LinkedIn, what do you think people should do with their profiles for that?
Yeah, it starts with the same thing. Those 5 stories start as your ammo and you get to build everything else off of that. So you have so many experiences every day, good, bad, ugly. And if you start to break those stories, you know this all too well, if you start to break those stories down into really digestible, bite-sized pieces for people, they don't want to read a novel, they don't want to read a book, they want to read something super quick, super snappy, spaced out that they can understand quickly, that they can relate to. So draw some type of emotion out of them. Share something that was funny, share something you learned, share a trend you're seeing. You don't have to be a thought expert out of the gate. Like, don't get caught up in that. You just have to start sharing your story piece by piece.
I love that. Definitely baby steps, right? Like, you don't have to dive into the deep end, y'all. You can put on your little swimmies and float around in the shallow end and be nice and comfortable before you dive in.
For sure.
So don't necessarily think of it as, oh my God, I have to brand myself. And we talk about building personal brands and doing all of these things, but it's really not something that you have to be like, oh my God, the world's gonna end if I don't do it tomorrow. Like, y'all, it's LinkedIn. It's okay. When I was in college, I managed a Panera, and one of my employees, she was 16 years old, freaking out. I remembered something that my boss had told me. He's like, Lauren, it's Panera, it's bagels and bread. You can chill out. And that's just stuck with me in my life. And in any job I've ever done, like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not saving someone's life. Like, it's just LinkedIn, y'all. It's just a personal brand. So why we're all saying it'll help you, like, take these tidbits and use them how you want to. So when Emily's saying have 5 stories and use little pieces of that, you don't have to post 5 stories this week and have in-depth stuff, like, little by little, y'all. And you can use it in the comments too. So remember that as well. What do you think, Jessie? What do you see people doing as a candidate that you're like, maybe if you did this, it would be a little bit better?
Great question. And I would say, you were talking about like showing up in the shallow end. And I'd say, like, even before you even like touch your foot in the shallow end, you can get started just by commenting and engaging on other people's posts and consuming content and seeing what, identify maybe 5 people who you think you align with in terms of what they talk about, and ring their bell and follow them and put meaningful comments in there. And then you'll find that those comments you could and then turn into posts. But yeah, I think Emily had a lot of really great points. And you think of LinkedIn as your portfolio. So, you don't have to, like she said, think of it just like as a resume, because they already have the paper, right? They want to see everything else, who you are. And yes, you want to get to that place where it is your portfolio and you're making posts that look like blogs and you're great creative on there. And people can see what you're made of, especially if you're a marketer. But you can build a portfolio of content for any position. If you're a software engineer, talk about software engineering. If you're a doctor, talk about being a doctor. But also, I think it's healthy to be human, and that'll show through too. So it's like, bring your portfolio, yes, but before you build your portfolio, just start being a human on LinkedIn and showing that, you're a good person, you have a good foundation, and you're exploring your audience on LinkedIn and what they like to hear you see, and like what they want to hear you like post about. But also, like, at the end of the day, like Lauren, you said, it's just LinkedIn, and LinkedIn, it's just an algorithm. And like, there's just certain things the algorithm likes, and they like certain things better than the others. So like, make your life easy and, test different things, start commenting, post videos, post pictures, post carousels, see how the impressions are different, see how the comments are different. And I think all of that like builds into like marketing yourself as a top candidate, because then you're going to be able to get in front of the people that you want to get in front of, and you're going to be able to make it look like you know what you're doing. But yeah, I think that's really the main thing, is get into the comments, consume, and start posting.
I would also say, like, if you were laid off or let go, or you find yourself out of work where you don't have to hide it, you don't have to go behind someone's back to job search, I would encourage you to go out on a limb and tell people that. Like, not only am I open to my next role, here's what I'm looking for, here's what I'm good at. Like, that is so empowering, as opposed to just share, like, I'm on this journey. can anyone help me? And so many people are willing to help you and comment so that somebody else can see it, connect you to somebody that they know, hire you back on when they hired you 4 years ago. Like there's just so many ways that if you put yourself out there, somebody might reach out.
Emily, like you did that so well and it was so fun to watch. I think that's how I first like one of your first posts that I saw was like you eating like famous cookies at like the Minnesota State Fair or something. And it was just really awesome because I think at that time you were also, you know, looking for your next role. And so you did that really well. I think, you know, like what more would you tell people? Because a lot of people were just laid off. I think I even saw someone in the comments saying something about it. Like, what more would you tell people about how you did that? Because you did it so beautifully.
Yeah, like you said, I tested a lot of different formats to see what worked, what I was comfortable with, push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit with that silly little rap I made. But what I would say, and I did it then and I do it now, it's just in a different capacity, is not every post should be, I'm open to work, I'm looking for a job, please hire me. Just like nowadays, not every post should be, here's my company, it's called Nectar, here's what we do, like go check it out. But mixing that in and blending that in with your content in a way that makes sense, in a way that's natural, in a way that still tells stories or draws emotion, kind of back to what I was saying before, is huge. So I just mixed it in. Once I started talking about how I'm open to work and that caught on, I started telling stories about what was going on in my life. Went to the
Was
state
that
fair and
scary?
told a story. Like you said, a lot of people clung to the journey of like, she's in a vulnerable place. She wants to get a job. And I like made a post, I don't know where my next paycheck's coming from. Like I would share my fears. I would share my successes. I would share, this is working really well. I got 3 interviews based on doing this one thing. And I just started openly sharing that process. And it was huge for not only getting a job at the end, but networking all the way along. That's how my following took off, was doing that publicly.
And you did it really well. It was tasteful. Like you said, it wasn't like, hire me, hire me. Oh my God, hire me. Because definitely I feel like you see that with everybody in some instance. Sometimes I'm like, can you just stop selling and you'll sell more?
Right.
Come on, guys. But it's interesting in the way that you marketed yourself and your skills along the way. And I think that because you were vulnerable, people felt that emotion with you, and people want to feel emotion. I tell people all the time, like, oh, they're like, how did you do so well on LinkedIn? How are you growing? I'm like, because I post emotional shit. And I post things that literally, like, I sit there and I hold my phone for 10 minutes before I click post. And I'm like, should I post it? Should I post it? I don't know. Like, if your post doesn't make you feel that emotion before you post it, like, you're not going to make other people feel emotion either. So you tapped into that vulnerability and showed the emotional side of the journey as well, which I thought was really impressive.
Yeah, thank you. LinkedIn's helping me care less about what other people think. Like it really is. It's helping me just click post and be like, they're going to think what they're going to think, but this is what I've got to say. So
How funny that we came to a professional site and said, we're going to do what we want.
yeah.
And it worked out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing I tell people all the time. Do LinkedIn your way, right? Like it doesn't have to be the way you want it to be. Tom says, stop selling, start helping.
That's right.
Good point, Tom. And amen to that, Emily. And that you're a rock star. Look, Tom just dropping the
Tom's
compliments.
a rock star.
Tom's killing it with his SD lab. Everybody go check out that. We do have some questions. Micah asks, what do you say to somebody who's done retail management for 23 years and wants to do something new? Brand ambassador, social media content creator. I've been active this year on LinkedIn, but I haven't had success of transitioning out of retail. Micah, I will give you some tips on this. I know Blair answered you a little bit further down, but like she said, look at those opportunities in relation to retail. So go find some of those companies that are in retail hiring for those positions. That's an easy way to transition kind of into the position you want to be in. And then not many people will take my advice on this, but I got a DM yesterday from someone who told me at work they are transitioning, and they sent a video to the hiring manager along with their application to say, hey, I know I'm not typically the person that you would interview for this role, but here's 3 reasons why we should chat. Guess who got an interview?
Nice.
So I always do recommend, if you are transitioning and you do think you have the skills, if you are comfortable and you can be confident, film a video, send a video.
Love that.
All right, yeah, Micah said, yeah, Micah, start looking at those kind of opportunities related to your retail experience. Speaking of not caring what other people think, how do you respond to the LinkedIn is not Facebook IG crowd? I know what I do. Do either one of you want to answer this first?
People are people. All I gotta say is like they're gonna be people whether they're on Facebook or their Instagram or LinkedIn. So I don't know. I just found peace once I heard someone say that. And I'm just like, so I'm just going to be a person because you know what? At the end of the day, people connect with people, not brands. So you know what? Let me just go out and keep pretending this is Instagram or Facebook. And if that triggers somebody, then great. Maybe they should comment about it. And a lot of other people will respond to that.
Yeah, I thank them for the engagement and then post
Yeah.
of me rolling my eyes.
Wish them best.
Bless your heart. Adam, I hope you're not dealing with too much of that. If you are, let me know. I'll happily show up to support and troll and help with the engagement on your post a little bit. Tom says ignore them. Do you? Yes, everybody do LinkedIn your way. Use the platform how you want to, and what you want to share. Your tribe will find you. Hey, Mark, there's so many people who have joined in the last few minutes. Richie says, I tell them thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers to you all. If you don't like what we have posted, Tom, bless your heart, in the words of Lauren's sermon. Be bold and respectful. Yes, be bold. I would also say that to job applicants when we're talking about marketing yourself. You're in a sea of black and white. And I don't mean that in terms of like make your resume sparkly. I mean that in a sense of be bold enough to stand out from the crowd. Like Emily said, be vulnerable, have your stories, know your talking points, right? Jessie, I know you have to leave soon.
Yeah, I have to pick my daughter.
I know, but I want to say thank you for coming. And I'm so excited about Whiskey Wednesday this year. Do you have any tips for anyone? I know that you helped me massively when I was wanting to start a live show and getting into all of this. Do you have any tips for anybody who's thinking about, hey, maybe that's like my next move?
I think, typically when I talk to people, they'll just want to talk about like the technical aspect of it, like how do I technically make this happen, which was honestly my like biggest question and fear in the beginning in the first place, as well as like the cost. But once people get past that, the thing I find that they struggle with most is they can't get past not being perfect. And so my biggest suggestion is just take action and just know you're gonna mess up and it's okay because it's just LinkedIn, as Lauren said. And I've messed up so many times. Just this past week, I couldn't share my screen, like for whatever reason. I had to share the tab. My internet, I don't know if it was my internet or I just like clicked the wrong thing, but things happen. And especially when you're doing a live broadcast, there's no editing. So you just roll with the punches and know that everything will be okay. So yeah, just like get the technical stuff down. But even once you do and you feel like a pro, like I feel pretty confident in my ability to run a show now, but I know I'm still going to mess up and you likely will too. So just get over it and then you'll be more likely to succeed.
I would say
It's amazing. Tune into Whiskey Wednesday.
Thank you, Emily. You're amazing too. I love
I'll be there. I'll be a guest. Valentine's Day special on the 15th of Feb.
Yes, I cannot wait. So Emily will be one of our February guests. So we've got a lot of exciting guests, and as well as like, I don't know if anyone here knows Melanie Borden. Like she's just like a really famous marketer on LinkedIn. I'm really excited to talk to her too. Next week we have on Kate Irwin. She is also on TikTok. Like I know both of you are. And Larry Long Jr., he's a famous MC. I'm pretty excited to bring him.
I love Larry. Larry is somebody who will support you in the DMs, man. Every now and then I like show up. I'm like, what's up, Larry? And he always messages me back. But I also started that relationship with a video, y'all. I started a lot of my relationships with people on LinkedIn with video. But
do you still use Bombas? Is that what it's called?
Bomb. So I'm in between. I use a little bit of Bomb and I use a little bit of SendSpark. So I'm trying to get fully comfortable in like using SenseSpark more, but I used BombBomb for so long that like some days it's just like click, click, comfortable. You know what I mean? When you're just comfortable with a
Well,
tool.
maybe one of those brands could make the choice easy for you by sponsoring this show.
Oh, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah, you're right.
Bombas, and what was the other one?
BombBomb and SenseSpark. So I had Bethany from SenseSpark on the show. Bethany's incredible. And both companies have been phenomenal, and I don't pay for either of them. So they both support me in that way. So I will say that they've been super, super supportive of me and what I'm trying to do as a recruiter. You guys all know all these different technical tools get expensive when we have to have different CRMs
Exactly.
and
I'll say, like,
StreamYard.
when I think of video tools, I think of you, Lauren. So, like, I was just throwing that idea out there because I know pre-show we were kind of talking about sponsorship. So,
Yep.
throw that out there as an idea. But I do have to run to go pick up my daughter.
Well,
Thank you so much
so
for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate having you, Jessie, and we will see you Wednesday night.
See you Wednesday. Bye, Emily. Bye, Lauren.
Bye, Jessie.
Bye. Okay, it's down to 2.
Okay, Lauren, we need to pause here and celebrate you because you launched your own thing this week, and then 2 days later, you signed your first client.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. This has been a whirlwind week. I am blessed by this community. I don't want to get emotional, but literally, like, the thing that makes me successful are the people that I've met on LinkedIn. And I know that that sounds cheesy and corny, and you can say whatever, y'all, but the people you know in real life will not support you the way that people will on LinkedIn. And it's insane to me, and I don't get it, but I have had people get on Zoom calls with me at 10 p.m. at night, their time, when I was like, oh my God, I just need help and I have a call in the morning and what am I going to do? I have had so many people just show up in so many ways. And it's this community. It's all of you. So thank you guys. Really, I'm getting a little bit emotional, but thank you guys because really that's what it came down to. And that's what's making me successful now. But thank you, Emily.
So much more to come. I'm so happy.
So much more to come. I'm so excited. Yes, and more calls booked today. And we're gonna go hard after this too. So expect some cold calls from Lauren about hiring after the show. If you're a hiring manager and you attended, I'll be calling you. I know it's in the analytics. I'll see you and I will find you and I will try to get your phone number now that I don't have a tool to scrape any numbers. So if any of you got that for me, reach out too. Okay, Emily, I want to talk to you. Talk to me about your current role. What are you doing? We know, I think you got your job through LinkedIn, right?
I did. Yeah.
So tell me about that process and tell me about what you're doing and how all that worked out for you.
Yeah, the process was I was obviously posting all the time on LinkedIn, spending all of my free time there when I was unemployed. And I noticed these like pinkish, orangish backgrounds like coming up over and over. I'm like, who are these people? Like they love posting. I was connected to the head of marketing. I was connected to the CEO. I was connected to a few of the other folks. And I'm like, they are sharing about great company culture and the old way of doing things is out. And just really inspiring messages where I feel like you want to feel those things and you want to see those in a company, but they're not always actually, lived out day to day. And so I was still posting every day. And at one point, the CEO reached out to me and was like, are you still looking? And we had a chat and everything moved really quickly. It was like the exact right time. What they needed is the skill set that I was able to provide. So when I was hired on, so I'm technically overseeing brand and demand for Nectar right now. So you'll see me heading up social feeds. You'll see me strategizing. You'll see me working with our head of marketing, our head of content, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot more to come this year. Our company is growing like crazy. And we're in the rewards and recognition space. So just like picture with me for a second a social media feed. You all know what that looks like. It's super straightforward, super self-explanatory. If I want to give a shout out, I would be like at Lauren Sermon, and I would say, congratulations on landing your first client. You are so amazing. I'm so proud of you. I would attach a core value, a company core value to that shout out. I'd give her some points. So, hey, here's 10 points for doing that. Maybe I have 50 points for the month. I give her 10 of them. And then Lauren, with those 10 points, which is $1, could go get $1 to Amazon, or she could save it for something really great. So that's kind of how Nectar works. Definitely check us out. But yeah, I'm just loving the role so far. It's been a lot of fun. I am trusted more than I ever have been in the past to just do great work. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
So I always like to ask, is this a role that was posted, or was this something that they reached out to you before it was posted?
They were in the final stages of hiring. I don't know if it was posted prior to me hearing about it,
Right.
but they were going through interviews with people and kind of looped me into the process last second. And
Because they saw what you were doing on LinkedIn.
yeah.
Okay, for all you haters, I know I probably don't have many haters who tune into my show. I think you guys probably pretty much agree. But if any of you are lurking, it works. I promise it works. I got my last 2 jobs on LinkedIn. So did Emily. Now I started my own company and I'm successful because of LinkedIn. We're going to keep being successful and kicking ass. It's our year, Emily.
It is our year.
What would you say to people? I know how long did your job search take?
A month.
A month. So what would you say to people who are maybe getting into like month 3 and they're at that point where I don't know what to do, I'm discouraged. What would you say to somebody in that position?
Oh, that's a tough one because it's like you want to just say keep going. And then they're like, yeah, you're the girl who did it in a month. Like that doesn't really resonate for me. I would actually say after 3 months to take a step back and reevaluate and make sure that you're going for the right things and doing the right things to get there. Because I actually listened to other people's advice too early on in the job search process. People were like, niche down, stop having so many titles on your profile that you might want to have. And so I was like, fine, I want to be in customer success. And I made that whole rap about it, started posting about that. And at the end of the day, like marketing is my sweet spot. And so like I narrowed down too quickly. I was open to being in customer success, project management, marketing, but I wish I actually wouldn't have taken all that advice so quickly. So sounds like Nectar is a great coach. Yes. But I would actually reevaluate and make sure you're going after the right things that's aligning with your passions. You're doing it for the right reasons. And then if it is, I would say keep doing the actions you're doing and do a +1. Add one thing that is creative to your process. Add one thing that's a different format to your process. Add one person a week who you haven't reached out to before to that process. Maybe a hiring manager, CEO, depends on the size of the company you're going after. But it's cliche to say, like, don't get discouraged because it's really easy to get discouraged in the job search. I got discouraged and I was only job searching for a month. So lean in on your community, your people who do support you, and do that +1 of creativity and make sure you're on the right path.
And I would also say, like, have someone that you can call on the days where you just need to say this sucks.
Yeah.
Right? Like some days you just need to say this sucks and make sure you have that person too. Because that person's going to support you in those moments where it's hard. Because it is hard, y'all. It's hard for everyone who's transitioning, right? And nobody's trying to say it should be easy or anything like that. But just like you said, don't necessarily niche down too quickly, right? But I had a conversation with someone today. Figure out what you're passionate about and find the companies that do that. And then go to those companies and network with the people at those companies. Look at how Todd just got a job at Lavender. There wasn't even a job posted for what he got hired for, right? Right? Like, wasn't that what he reached out for? And it was like, I want to make sure I'm getting the story right. But that's literally what I think it was. There wasn't even a job. He reached out, said what his idea was, and boom. But they were like, done, you're hired.
Lavender's whole philosophy is like, we hire rock stars. We hire great people. We're not going to put this perfect job description and you perfectly match it. Like, that's not the way the world is working moving forward. We're going to take great people and see how they can mesh with the needs of our company. And your proposal might just get you hired. I would honestly, that could be your creative +1. You could propose a job that isn't even on the website if you've been following a company for a long time.
Yeah. There's a lot of companies that have like a section now on their careers page, and I really like it. And it's like, don't see a job for you, pitch us the job you want. And it's like you can literally upload your resume and say what you'd be good at for their company. I love that. I think
That's
it's a great
awesome.
idea. LinkedIn, it's LinkedIn. It has the juice. It's a picture of it.
You have to sing it.
I'm not singing it. You can sing it. You are.
It's LinkedIn.
I'm not doing it. You can do it. Do it.
It has the juice. Wait, you didn't say it has the juice. I can't do that last part. The corn song didn't have that many words.
Okay. I'm dying. I feel like now that we're talking about corn, we can move into hobby farming for some reason.
That seems fair.
Oh,
That
I'm
seems
dying.
fair.
I'm dying. Okay. So, what the heck is hobby farming for our people on LinkedIn who don't know?
It's so funny because people will message me sometimes and they'll be like, "You have a hobby farm? Like, I grow soybeans." And I'm like, "Oh, it's different." Like, I don't know. It's so awkward because I don't want to say they're wrong because they're not wrong. Anyways, so to us, hobby farming means that we are raising animals not for production. Like, they're just our friends. They just hang out in the pasture. They hang out on our farm. We have a 2-car garage that we do not park our cars in. It is the barn. So they've got straw, they've got areas to sleep, they eat, they do all their things, and then they have a couple acres fenced in as their pasture. So this all started in March of 2021 when we rescued a pig named Easter off of Craigslist because it was Easter Sunday and seemed really fitting. So we see a $50 pig on Craigslist, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be really cute and little. It can like sleep in our bed." And we drive 3 hours down to southern Minnesota, and she was massive. Like, they had to hog tie her. She was squealing. I felt so bad, but like we didn't have anything to load a pig into the car. I thought she was a cute little, like, we could just pick her up. We were wrong. She gets into the car, pees like a fire hose in the back seat all the way home. Like, just it was a disaster, honestly. And she was obese and isolated, and it was this whole thing. And when she got home, she like escaped a few weeks later. We then found out pigs go into heat, which is like a cycle, a time of the month. Like, we learned a lot really quickly. We should have done a lot more research. But it's actually funny, and I'll just drop this now if you're still here, but I wrote a children's book about Easter the pig, and I'll post about it on LinkedIn in the next couple of weeks if you want to buy a children's book called Easter the pig. But no, it's a whole
I will buy a
story.
copy for my kid. You better send me a copy. I'll buy a copy for my son, but
Yeah.
I want you to autograph it, so you have to get it and send it to me. All of my so I have a few friends who've written books legitimately, and I have all of them autograph them. Like, I want.
Oh, smart. Yeah, I should probably order more copies here in case people want that. But yeah, it's just such slow. And I had it written like 2 months ago and printed and everything. It's just the shipping times were so slow that I was scared to put it on LinkedIn and be like, but it's going to take 2 months to get to you. But now it's like, if I just set expectations up front,
you'll be okay.
They'll know it's going to take a while.
Did you see Blair's comment?
So Minnesotan of you.
For rescuing a pig?
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so it started with a pig. Now what all do you have?
Yep. Then we got 2 sheep, Hollywood and Harmony. And then we got 2 donkeys. This is actually kind of sad. We got 2 donkeys, Minnie and Soda for Minnesota. And then Minnie did not make it. She passed last February. It was super devastating. She like went to the hospital and spent 4 days at the university and like started getting better and then started getting worse. So that was really, really hard and sad. And then donkeys are not supposed to be kept alone. So we had 1 donkey by themselves for like 4 months, which was so sad. We're looking everywhere for like, we need a companion, we need a friend, we need it to not get depressed. And then this older woman was downsizing her farm as they were getting older. And they're like, we have 2 brothers that we have to rehome. And so we ended up getting the 2 brothers. So now it's 3 donkeys, 2 sheep, 1 pig, and then in the house, we have 2 dogs. So my wife is a first grade teacher. Yeah. Sean, follow me on LinkedIn. I'll post about it in the next couple weeks and share with the world that I did write this thing. Just dropped that information.
Okay. Can I just say, though, I want a video of you laying with your animals reading the book.
Ooh, not in the winter, but in a few months I'll do that.
Yes. So I'm in South Florida. It's like 85. I keep forgetting it's winter for people.
We have
if January doesn't mean winter. Yeah. There's like probably snow where you are, right? Or something.
Yeah, we got a foot 2 days ago, so, like, we just have to keep clearing it. It's so high. But yeah.
The one time I saw snow, I think I had flip-flops, I layered tank tops, and I bought a jacket when I got to the airport. Like,
Flip-flops?
well, what was I gonna do? Buy boots for one night? No, it
I
was one
guess,
night.
yeah.
No. No. I live in Florida, we own flip I have boots now. This was years ago, but back
Okay.
then, when I was in college, I was like, "This is just a quick trip. We are not investing in a wardrobe for a night," you know?
Yeah.
Sean says he's gonna for sure follow you.
Thanks, Sean. We'll be in touch.
Well, I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah.
So, last minute, my original guest, I don't know if anybody is still joining. I think we still have some people on. I was going to have Tommy the tech recruiter. If any of you know Tommy,
Mm.
Tommy's going to be on in a few weeks. But he is enjoying Disney today. I'm not jealous at all. Not like my favorite place in the world, and I don't live in Florida and have a 5-year-old that I totally want to be at Disney with. But he's going to be joining us in February. I know we were talking about lavender. I've been talking to the lavender team about coming on. We got Morgan Ingram coming on. Morgan J. Ingram. Yep, coming on in March. So it's going to be a fun year. I have another very exciting announcement that I will not tell anybody about, but it is coming the last Friday in January. I'm going to have a special guest. I might be taking on another project and you're all going to think I'm crazy, but more fun things to come this month. And I really appreciate having you, Emily. Is there anything else anybody should know other than to follow you on LinkedIn and check out Nectar?
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, Tommy's going to be awesome. Thank you so much for having me. That's it.
Of course. Well, like everybody likes on a Friday, we're going to end a meeting early, give everybody back some time. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We will see you next Friday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.